Plaintiff Todd Teachout says the defendant is his son, and growing up, he was a smart kid and virtually a straight-A student. However, after the defendant graduated high school, he took what Todd calls a 10-month methamphetamine vacation, and Todd didn't recognize his own son. Todd's suing him today for an unpaid loan. Defendant Nicholas Teachout admits that he had a bright future and even applied to be a nuclear engineer in the Navy. But after he started using crystal meth, everything went downhill, and his addiction financially drained him. Although Nicholas admits that his father took out a loan for him, he insists that he's paid the debt down.
All right, tell me what happened.
Well, Your Honor, when Nicholas was about 9 months old, his mom and I split up. For the next 11 years, he lived with his mother. I saw him alternating weekends. At age 12, his mom had a lot of discipline problems with him. Apparently couldn't handle it. Called me up and asked if he could come and live with me. He came to live with me, went to school for 7th through 12th grade. I did manage to kind of straighten out a little bit of an attitude that he had. Nicholas was an excellent student, was within a spitting distance of a straight-A student all the way through school. When he was a junior, senior, due to his intelligence in mathematics in particular, he was a teacher's aide, and he was basically teaching an advanced algebra class. So he's a very bright kid. After high school, he enrolled in a 2-year mechanical engineering class.
He didn't get a scholarship?
No, he did not. He never applied for one.
Sir, you want to tell me thus far about your academic and college experience, or the 2-year college? I personally, based on what your dad says, if your grades were that high, you should have filled out a scholarship. Your counselor didn't? Go ahead, I'll let you tell me.
Yeah, I agree with him on that. I probably should have, but I actually applied to be a nuclear engineer in the Navy. I passed their test and then decided against going. So.
Okay, go ahead, sir. What else do you want to tell me?
Well, Nicholas had applied for a 2-year degree, or a 2-year program.
Nothing wrong with
at
that,
Dunwoody. By the end of year 1, he was basically running short on money. Told me that he wanted to get a job, try to put some money back together, and then complete the course. He moved up the St. Cloud area with his mother, and I had a couple of friends of his stop by my house not long after he was up in St. Cloud, and told me basically they knew what he was into.
What was that?
He basically, the best description I can give you is he took about a 10-month methamphetamine vacation.
Can I interrupt, Your Honor?
Yeah.
It actually started long before I moved up to St. Cloud, when I was still going to Dunwoody, and the reason that I couldn't continue going to Dunwoody is they would not give me a loan to cover my tuition and my books. It was going to come up to about $4,500. I could only get a loan for $3,000. So I had talked to my father about possibly, helping me out with the other $1,500. And at the time, he claimed that he didn't have it. And so I was kind of forced to drop out at the time. And when I started using drugs, that really dropped my funds down. But it was way.
When did you start using drugs? Was it after or before you needed the money for the $1,500?
Before.
Well, you shouldn't have gotten $1,500. You smoked it up. I was going to suggest that if it happened afterwards, then, Dad, it would have been a better investment, and it still may have been a better investment to give him that $1,500 to finish college. Most college students aren't using crystal meth. Most professionals, after they finish college, aren't using crystal meth. So my point is, if you'd invested that $1,500 in his college experience, he may not have run into that, and you may not have been suing him today for $3,900. You follow me?
Yes,
so
Your Honor.
Hopefully others who are watching know that it is a much better investment in your child to loan or finance their education as best you can, or co-sign for their education as best you can, because that early investment will be much better than the later investment when they come and stay with you until they're 35, eat all your food, won't get off the couch, dipping into your money. Anything else you want to tell me about his drug addiction and how it affected you or the family before we get to the loan?
Yes, sir. When he was up in St. Cloud, I basically talked to him on the phone, told him, listen, I know what you're doing, I know what you're involved with, I'd like to see you get out of it. Tell you what, come home, you can live here for free, we'll straighten you out, we'll get you a job, everything's going to be fine. Well, when he finally did come home, which was about 3 weeks later, he was not the person you see here today. He was about 25 pounds lighter, he was white as a ghost, and looked like he hadn't slept in about 3 weeks. For the next 3 week period, all he did was sleep and eat, and woke up every so often to watch TV for an hour or two and went right back to sleep again.
Can I elaborate on the St. Cloud thing? While I was in St. Cloud, the reason that I decided to quit was I had a gun pulled on me twice in a week.
Good.
I mean, those people.
What else?
Those people are very paranoid. Well, that's when I called him, and I actually came back to live with him on his birthday.
All right. And I say it's good because you didn't suffer any injuries. Had you suffered injuries, it may not have been so good, but it scared you straight. Go ahead, sir. What else? He laid around on you, wasn't responsible, and then how did that end?
Working together, basically, because I was looking for jobs for him, and so was he.
Okay, and what did that lead to?
He ended up getting employed at the same employer he's at currently, actually.
How long ago was that?
6.5 years.
All right. When did you loan him the $39.50 and why?
Actually, in 2007 was when the loan began.
Had he been clean?
To the best of my knowledge, yes.
Now, you can tell if a person on crystal meth.
Yeah.
He'd been looking like he did.
He
when
wasn't
came
living
from
with me
St.
the whole
Cloud.
time, though.
Oh, wasn't living with you. But he was coming to work.
Yes.
Okay, they don't come to work routinely. Go ahead. Am I right or wrong?
You're absolutely right, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
The reason basically for the loan, first off, when he left on his methamphetamine vacation, he left a whole bunch of debts behind that he hadn't made any payments on. So of course, when he came back, they were chasing him around, wanting their money. We borrowed this money to pay his and his girlfriend's outstanding debts.
Okay, and the total amount was $39.50?
The total amount of the original loan was $18,500.
Wow, at one time?
At one time.
We were paying on it, and we've obviously paid it down. In May, I got laid off. Her and I split up, and she was unable to make her half of the payment, so I actually paid mine and hers for 3 months while I was unemployed. I couldn't pay it anymore. I couldn't get her to come to the bank and talk to them with me, and at the time, I probably should have came to my dad, but I wanted to kind of take care of it myself, but it went into default after 3 months of not paying.
So you only stopped when you lost your job?
Right.
You don't understand that?
I absolutely understand that.
You must
He
not
was also
have. You're
collecting-
suing the man. When you understand, you don't go after a person. You kind of work something out with them.
Which is exactly what I offered to do once I found out how far behind he was.
Okay.
He didn't come to me and talk to me about it. His girlfriend didn't talk to me about it. The bank called me to say, we're foreclosing on this loan.
You see, he can't even pay you back the loan because you all wouldn't invest in his education. I got to keep going back to that. I got to keep going back. He can't even repay you. You invested in the wrong thing, paying the old light bills that he owed and the old gas bill. I owed all that as well. I had to finance and borrow and scrape all the way through college. And at one point, and I'm not ashamed to say, to use my money on college instead of bills, I filed for bankruptcy as a student. So I ain't paying y'all, I'm paying this college. Y'all can do what you want. Take it out wherever you can get it from. but I am going to finish college, and I'm not paying you a dime. All right? Good luck to you. Judgment for the plaintiff, $39.50. Have a good day.
Thank you, Ron.
I recovered with help from my family and my friends, and especially my father, who allowed me to stay at his house for a couple weeks, helped me get a job, and that's pretty much it. I mean, once I got a job and everything, it was much better.
I'm just glad I could be there for him when he needed me the most. My sons, both of them, have always been very important to me, and I'll do anything I can to help them. I think Nicholas knows that.